Check, check, check. 1, 2. Oh, caught you guys off guard, didn't I? Caught you guys off guard. If you were expecting a countdown. No. No countdown tonight. We're going live on the dot right at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. People of the internet, welcome to RetroRaconteur Live for the week of April 25th, 2023. Coming up on tonight's show, Diablo 4 is getting another open beta. PlayStation has acquired another studio. Dead Island 2 is off to a fast sales start. More Horizon is on the way. And if you're looking forward to Star Wars Jedi Survivor, spoilers are officially out. Beware. Plus, our topic of the week for tonight, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, the recently announced standalone multiplayer title featuring the iconic Wizarding World sport. We'll also be taking a look at the new games coming out this week and talk about what I've been playing lately. But first, it's time to say hello to you guys, the chat. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who don't know, we stream live here at youtube.com/RetroRaconteur. Used to do it every Tuesday around 8:30 or so Eastern Time. Now we're bumping it up to around 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday evenings. My son had baseball practice tonight, and I knew we weren't going to be able to make it in time. So here we are, though. We made it. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope everybody is doing well. Let's see. We got Harry Potter, ladies and gentlemen. Harry Potter in the chat tonight. The very first person that I saw in the chat. House Raconteur member Alicia is here with us. Nico, the real life chief Warlock in the house. Jake, a.k.a. our buddy Hi. 1, 2, 3. Hi. He asked one time, how do I remember the name? I don't know, dude. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. Mia in the house as well. We got Ken. Harry Potter with the super chat as well. Harry, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Very much appreciate it. I'm doing well, doing well. Good to see you. Thank you for being here and hanging out. Oh, man, here's a name. Andres. I cannot pronounce. My apologies. Kucharski? Am I close there, at least on the last name? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. We've got Darren in the house as well. JP Ravenfire. Ryan De La Cruz. Ryan, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mia in the house as well. Your West Coast audience likes this time, right? I know this is a little bit better. We're always, no matter when we stream, no matter when we go live, it's always affecting somebody can't make it, whether it's our audience overseas, whether it's our West Coast, always somebody who can't make it. But that's why, I got to keep everybody guessing. Keep you all on your toes. You never know when we may be live. So thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, also Hanson Edits in the house as well. Thoughts on the HP show? Oh yeah, I wanted to make a thing where you guys can submit. So as you can see there from the intro, trying something a little bit different here with the show. Obviously with Hogwarts Legacy being out, we wanted to keep doing the live streams, but now we can't just focus on that every time. I'm also thinking about turning this into a podcast as well. So just to give you guys, since this is our first time doing this, just to give you all kind of a little overview of what I'm thinking here. We'll always have the intro, and I think I'm going to start live, just right into it like that, instead of having the countdown. Because whenever people see a VOD on YouTube, whenever they go back and try to watch something and you have this weird, annoying countdown there, it's like, come on, I'm not going to sit here for 10 minutes. And, some people, maybe they'll skip ahead, but a lot of people are just going to be like, I'm clicking out of this, and they're gone. So I'm just going to start like that. We're just going to start right from the beginning. We'll put timestamps later so people want to jump around any section they can. So we'll have that intro. We'll have this little chat interaction moment here. Then I've got segments. I've got segments planned for you guys tonight. Harry Potter with another super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. The 99-cent super chat. Appreciate that, my friend. So yeah, we'll have the intro, the chat greetings, then what I'm calling the weekly recap. So those stories that you heard me kind of hint at the beginning, we'll just go over those briefly. So I'll cover those 5 stories, probably read some news articles on each one of those. That'll be, maybe a 15-minute segment or so. Not too much interaction, just keeping you guys up to date with everything that's going on. Then we'll talk about new releases. So everything that's came out, what I've been playing. I'll be checking the chat, see what you guys have been playing. And then where we'll have the bulk of our discussion is the topic of the week. And so for this week, our topic of the week is going to be Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, which some of you out there right now, some of you out there watching may very well have played this. You may very well be playing it right now because it is officially, they have, what are they calling it? They're not calling it a beta, playtest. They're calling it playtest. So they have these playtests open, and they've said more invites, are going to be going out, but we don't know when, we don't know how many, we don't know a lot, really. So it's almost a good thing that I'm not. I mean, in some ways it is. I really want to be playing, to be honest with you, but in some ways it is a good thing because it gives me a little bit more freedom to talk about it, because it seems like those that are playing are under an NDA, so they can't really talk much about it at all. So we'll have our topic of the week, and then we'll have a section for viewer questions. So there is a way on YouTube that you guys can submit questions. So let me actually go ahead and get that set up right now to where you guys can just submit those in, because I saw somebody was already asking about the possibilities of like asking my thoughts on the TV show, which that is a perfect example. That's like a great example of a question right there, as I hear myself double right there. Okay, so let's start a Q&A. So what do we want to call this segment? We'll call it viewer questions. Submit your viewer questions for tonight's stream here. All right, start Q&A. So then we'll have the Q&A, and then I was trying to think of something cool for the wrap up, because like a shout out, or so what I came up with is shouting out like the top comment of the week. So maybe finding one of my favorite comments from the YouTube channel throughout the week and highlighting that person from the community, and also highlighting their comment, just to encourage more positive comments. Which you guys watching the live right now, I don't need to tell you this because you already post the positive comments. But man, you get some weird comments on YouTube. You really do. Some really strange comments. So that's kind of the layout. That's what I'm planning for the show. And I want to stick with it. You know, we tried this a little bit a few weeks ago, and we just sort of watched some trailers, but it didn't really have a lot of structure to it. Tonight, we're changing it up. We're going to try to stick with it. Yo, do we have some gifted memberships going out? What is happening right now? Rohit. Oh, man, I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, too. With 5 gifted subs. And look at that. Mrs. RetroRaconteur got one of those gifted subs. That is a legit account, ladies and gentlemen. That is indeed a legit account. Mrs. RetroRaconteur, Draco, and then Harry Potter. Also, Craig. And let's see, who else? Kucharski. All of you just got gifted membership. So, Rohit, thank you so much for the gifteds. Appreciate that, my friend. Guys, whenever you have a gifted membership here on YouTube, you get a special Discord role, and you also have access to our emotes there in the chat. Great way to support the stream, support the channel. So, appreciate that, my friend.
Welcome to Griffin.
All right, so I think we're ready to, let's go ahead and shift into our first segment, which is going to be the weekly recap.
Hello. How are you? Welcome to Gryffindor.
There you go. Look, see? We got we got slides here ready to go. So this is where we're going to start. Each week we'll start with something like this, and then we'll shift over into our weekly recap. So there you can see those are the 5 big stories that we have. And I want to start right there at the top, the Diablo 4. I know some of you guys out there in our community are interested in this because I've seen some of you playing it. So this article comes to us from Game Informer, dated April 20th. Diablo 4 gets another open beta weekend next month. Diablo 4 may have gone gold, but Blizzard wants to ensure the servers are durable one more time before launch. Thus, it's opening the gates of Sanctuary to players one more time in a 3rd open beta next month. This next test weekend, dubbed Server Slam Weekend, begins May 12th at 12 p.m. Pacific and ends May 14th at the same time As the name suggests, Blizzard is running this beta to stress test the servers to make sure they're as sturdy as possible come June. Let's see. This slice of the game is similar to the March betas in terms of content, but it will include updates and bug fixes garnered from feedback to the previous betas. Server Slam will be a clean slate, as progression from the previous betas does not carry over. Additionally, the beta supports couch co-op. You don't see a lot of that these days, you know? Cross-play and cross-progression. And then at the end here, Diablo 4 launches on June 6th for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's also Game Informer's cover story for this month. So there you go. That is our first story there. All about Diablo 4, the open beta. If you guys missed that, you will have one more chance before the game comes out on June 6th, which we still have. I mean, that's still a little bit of time before. But yeah, May 12th. So you got some time before that beta as well. All right. And story number 2 of the night. PlayStation acquiring another studio. Firewalk Studios. I don't think this one's going to be submitted to like all those FCC hearings, like what's going on with Xbox and Activision for, you know, I think for obvious reasons. But PlayStation acquires, this comes to us from, again, Game Informer News. PlayStation acquires Firewalk Studios, team developing a AAA multiplayer game. So we've known about this for a while, that Sony has several different free-to-play games in the works. Now, it doesn't say if this one's free-to-play or not, but they have clearly saw what's been going on with all the success lately of free-to-play games. By the way, Darren with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate that. Appreciate the super chats, guys. Thank you all for the support. So here's the story on that one. The company announced this on a new PlayStation blog, noting that it's been in a publishing partnership with Firewalk Studios and Probably Monsters since 2021, and that it's now happy to expand that relationship by bringing the studio under the PlayStation umbrella. The studio has been working on its first original AAA multiplayer game for PlayStation, and it sounds like development on that will continue. Companies did not mention a price for the acquisition. Here's what Firewalk Studios head Tony Hsu and game director Ryan Ellis have to say about the acquisition. Oh wow, this is like a really they have like this really lengthy quote here. We'll read part of it here. Every once in a while, you get to have an adventure. Over 5 years ago, we jumped at the chance to set up a new studio and build a new IP from the ground up. Recalling our own favorite times with games, we founded Firewalk Studios around the idea of delivering memorable moments. Those amazing, had to be there, time shared with other people. Our goal is to deliver those shared moments of joy to players around the world. Building a new studio at scale has been an incredibly exhilarating and relentlessly daunting task. Fortunately, we've been supported by great partners throughout. Probably Monsters helped turbocharge us in setting up the studio, and Sony has been supporting our project and our creative vision from the beginning. Today, we're taking the next natural step and joining PlayStation Studios. We've worked closely with Herman and the very talented team at PlayStation for years, helping to make our new game even better. To join PlayStation Studios is to formally become part of a family that has produced many of the most storied games of our age, and we are honored. Let's see. Then it goes on to say here, PlayStation's acquisition of Firewalk Studios. Yeah, this is what we were alluding to at the beginning. It comes at an interesting moment for the company as it continues to publicly push back and fight against Microsoft's ongoing efforts to have its acquisition of Activision. It's hard to say there. Acquisition of Activision Blizzard, that is, approved by governmental bodies around the world. Are you excited for a AAA multiplayer game from a PlayStation first-party studio? Let us know in the comments below. So that's story number 2. Number 3 on our list, Dead Island 2. Off to a fantastic start in terms of sales. This one comes to us from IGN. Deep Silver and Dambuster? Is that how you say that? Dambuster Studios announced that Dead Island 2 has sold over 1 million copies within the first 3 days of release. Quote, Dead Island 2 has won fans from around the world, with countless players snapping up a copy of the drop-dead gorgeous game. That was not me. That was the quote. I promise that was the quote. In the first 72 hours, Deep Silver said in a press release. Furthermore, in-game stats were revealed detailing how many players did certain actions. Thus far, players have slayed 1.1 billion zombies, hacked off 756 million zombie limbs, and sliced 45 million zombies in half. There you go. I've heard there were some problems with Dead Island on YouTube. For people who are trying to cover this game on YouTube because of all the gore, I think a lot of these videos are getting demonetized, so you can't monetize them unless you, I guess, blur a lot of stuff out. So kind of tricky when it comes to covering games like that. The latter number is also over twice the population of the game setting in Los Angeles. If you're still hankering for some more Dead Island 2, a UK insurance company is offering... Wait, what? What is this? Is offering a Dead Island 2 life insurance policy? I think they're trying to make jokes here. I think that's intended to be a joke. Dead Island 2 is available now on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. I honestly, I have to click this link now. I have to click this link about, what is this? UK insurance company offers Dead Island 2 themed life insurance package. As reported by VGC, the Dead Happy Life Insurance Company, which offers a variety of different life insurance packages, with some quirkier than others, is offering the Dead Island 2 package. What? Oh my goodness. I literally thought this was a joke. Apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently it is indeed legit. All right, and our fourth news story of the night. Guerrilla Games casually drops Horizon 3 reference. Fans of Guerrilla Games' Horizon universe, as well as its irresistible, irrepressible hero, Aloy, will be pleased to hear that we can expect much more from the robot-filled dystopia, following comments from the studio that casually reference at least one more title in the visually stunning adventure series. The comments came following a shakeup of Guerrilla staff, which sees studio director and executive producer Angie Smets leave the developer to take up a new role as PlayStation Studios' head of development strategy. In Smets' absence, producer-director Joel Eschler and general manager Hella Schmidt will receive promotion within studio ranks, while current studio director Jan Bart Van Beek will retain their role at Guerrilla, overseeing all current and future projects. Okay, so the actual quote here, it was when they were discussing Smets' departure. So here's the quote. Guerrilla notes that it, quote, has full confidence in our new leadership as they steer Guerrilla towards a brighter future, expanding the world of Horizon with Aloy's next adventure and our exciting online project, close quote. So not a huge surprise there. Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, and then what's the Burning Shores, I think is the name of the DLC, which just came out. I still haven't played Forbidden West. Played Horizon Zero Dawn, enjoyed it, want to play the sequel, but my backlog is just, it's ridiculously long at this point. But I think I'll get to it at some point. I do. I enjoyed the first one. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was the most amazing game ever, but dinosaur mechs, come on. So it's really no surprise. I don't think it's a surprise anyway that there are in fact more games coming. That story, by the way, came to us from Destructoid. And then last but not least, this is a big one for our audience here. I feel like a lot of you guys are into Star Wars. So no, to be clear, no spoilers here tonight on this. We're just talking about the warning of spoilers is what we're going to be talking about. So EA has actually tweeted out, no spoilers. We're beyond excited for everyone to experience Star Wars Jedi Survivor this week. We ask that you please be mindful of others and avoid posting or sharing spoilers. And remember, BD is watching. So that's the tweet they put out. But apparently spoilers are already making their way online. People do have the game. It's not out until Friday, I think, is the release day. So while the Twitter... hold on. Let's back up here. I'm going to read this full article. This one is from PlayStation Lifestyle. Publisher EA has hit out at those posting Star Wars Jedi Survivor spoilers after the game was leaked yesterday. While the Twitter account that originally leaked aspects of the game has since been removed, the story and game feature spoilers still persist across different parts of the internet. We will not be revealing those spoilers here. Not only has EA requested players to, quote, be mindful of others and avoid posting or sharing spoilers ahead of the release of Star Wars Jedi Survivor on April 28th, but developers from Respawn have also been posting their own concerns. Senior writer Pete Stewart pointed out that, quote, for us, it's really disheartening to see spoilers as well, close quote. While EA's global director of integrated comms for shooters and Star Wars, Andy McNamara, asked players to, quote, please be respectful of the experience for others, close quote. The spoilers can still be seen across the internet on places like Twitter and Reddit, so be careful with your browsing ahead of the start of preloading tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific time. The PS5 file size has been reported as over 140 gigabytes, and even those with a disk copy will need to download some aspects of the game. All right, so that is it for our weekly recap. Man, that's so unfortunate about the spoilers. It really is, because I just finished playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. If you guys didn't see this, we streamed it over on Twitch. We also posted our full Let's Plays over on our Let's Play channel, RetroRaconteur Let's Plays. And I'm really enjoying that game. And there are some major, I'm not even going to say it here, there are some major story elements in that game that somehow I went, a few things I knew, but there was a lot of stuff I didn't know. And man, it just, like, seeing the big reveal at the end of the first game, like, imagine something like of that magnitude being spoiled for people. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. All right, so for some reason let's see. I can't see my chat for some reason. My chat has now disappeared. Hold on, let me pull it up. Guys, if you do have any questions to submit, you can use, we have a little link to do that. All you have to do is look in the chat, and we'll answer those at the end. There we go. Okay, now I can see it. No worries, Jason. No worries. Craig, no worries. A wizard is never late, Jason. That's what I always like to say. That's what I always like to say, my friend. All right, so that concludes our weekly recap. All right, new releases, guys, for the upcoming week. This is courtesy of Metacritic here. This is the week of April 24th. So we have After Image, an action-adventure releasing on PS5. Wow, basically everything. PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PS4, Xbox One, PC, Nintendo Switch on April 25th. Stranded Alien Dawn, same consoles, also releasing on the 25th. Trinity Trigger, also releasing on the 25th. That one is on PS5, PS4, PC, and the Nintendo Switch. We have Bramble the Mountain King, releasing on April 27th on, again, pretty much everything. PS5, PS4, PC, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. Then we have, I was trying to think, how is this pronounced? Anybody in the chat know? Live Alive? Live Alive? Live Alive? That is an RPG strategy releasing on April 27th for PS5, PS4, and PC. Then we have a Monster Hunter expansion that is Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on April 28th. That's going to land on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, and Xbox One. And then the big one, of course, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, April 28th, next gen only. So that one is only hitting on PS5, Xbox Series X, and S. I'm just not going to say S every time. People know, right? I mean, that's like generally understood. If you have an Xbox Series X, when you hear the Xbox Series X, you just know it's also on the S. It's when Microsoft chose that naming scheme. I mean, I get why they did it, but I can also see how it could be confusing in some instances. So those are the releases this week. Can't say that I know much about any of those with the exception of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Xbox Series. Yeah, that's a good way, Craig. Princess, loving the slides. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it would be helpful visually to as we kind of go through these different segments, and especially as people are going back through and catching the live. It'll help people follow along, I hope. So that's what's landing this week, guys. And then it's time for a little hear from you guys. What have you been playing lately? We already kind of alluded to it with me, what I've been playing lately. So let's see. My kids, I've said this many times, they're so into Fortnite. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. Both of them actually have birthdays coming up. But they are so in love with Fortnite. I mean, it just every day. Like they talk. We're actually really having to watch and monitor how much time they're on there and limit it each day because they are so into it. So every now and then, I'd say about once or twice a week, I'll hop in there and play some with them, which, guys, I kid you not, man, we're pretty close to the point where my 8-year-old is better than me at Fortnite. I don't think we're there yet. But we are getting dangerously, dangerously close, which is insane. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that. I really can't believe I'm saying that. Jason, you've been stubbing your toe. Ken's been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Nice. Mia been playing Witcher 3 since the next-gen update, a sign-focused build. Mia, I heard they changed that it feels a little more like the way the spellcasting works in Hogwarts Legacy. I've heard that. And I hopped in, I did a video on it and just captured some footage for the game, but very, very briefly. And I tested it out a little bit. But that is a game, man. I love that game so much, but it was the combat. I never found the combat super engaging. And every now and then I'll be like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to try it again and see if it feels different. Because if that game, like if it had the combat of a Souls game, or even the combat of something like Star Wars, we were just talking about Fallen Order, I would love that so much. I mean, it would probably be one of my favorite games ever. Harry Potter with another super chat. Harry Potter, man, thank you for all the love tonight. And in that super chat, Harry says, I've been playing Red Dead 2. Oh my gosh, Harry, don't get mad at me. Please don't get mad at me, but that one is it's in my backlog. It is in my very lengthy backlog. And I've started it. I don't know how far through it I am. I'm not even halfway because it's a really long game, but I don't know. I'm through like the first, I'd say probably 10 hours of the game. Same thing with Ghost of Tsushima. I'm a little bit more further into that one. And I know I would love both of those games. I know I would. And those are two that I absolutely, like, I know I have to get to them eventually. I have to. So those are pretty close on my, like the top of my backlog list. They're in like that top 5 games I need to get to. So in addition to Fortnite with my kids, though, what I've been playing, my youngest loves Mario Party. So we've been playing some Mario Party as well. And then I just finished, if you guys follow along our Twitch streams, I just finished Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And honestly, like finishing it so close to Survivor, I thought I was going to finish it and then be like, I need a break. I'm not ready to jump right back in. But the ending, man, the ending of that game, they really did a good job with ending it on a high note, man. It really ended in a good spot. And it kind of just has me itching for the next one, to be honest. So, Mr. 7-Digit, mostly Hogwarts Legacy, just got 100%. Nice. A little bit of Cyberpunk. Dude, is it finally time? Do I need to go back to Cyberpunk? Actually, I can't say go back because I've never played it. Do I need to finally add it? Here's a fun story about Cyberpunk, man. I was so close. Like I think it was the week of launch of the game. I was like hovering on the pre-order button. Hovering on it. And I was like, yeah, I know. CD Projekt Red, I feel like it's going to be a pretty solid game. But what held me back is I just had so many other things that I was playing at the time, so many other things that I was working on, and I didn't do it. It's like, nah, okay, I'm not going to pre-order it. I'll wait. I can wait for a sale easily. Boy, did I dodge one at launch there. But now I hear it's actually in a really good spot. A really good spot. Nico, feel like a weirdo, couldn't get into Horizons. Seems like people love it. I mean, I feel like I enjoyed it, but I still feel like I'm kind of almost in that camp too, because it seems like there's a lot of people who really, really love it. Who really love it. I think the biggest things for me were, Dynamechs. Come on. Dynamechs alone. And then bow and arrow. Give me a bow and arrow. That might be my favorite weapon in video games, is a bow and arrow. I love it so much, man. So those aspects, I feel like they nail. But yeah, everything else in Horizon, I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay. It's solid. Which for me, like Star Wars Fallen Order, here's my thoughts on it. I really enjoyed the game. And this is why when I was a kid and even growing up, I was like, man, all these people who say they don't want or they don't like review scores. I don't see why anybody would ever say that. That's ridiculous. And now the older I get, the more I understand. Like, I really do understand it. Because I wouldn't want to put a score on Star Wars because, to me, it is like such a good example of a game that's a really good game, but not a great game. Not a great game. And I don't mean that as like an insult. Like, I'm happy I played it. I had a great time playing it. Almost like when people talk about movies and they say, oh, that's a popcorn flick. It's like I don't need every movie or every game that I play to completely change my life, right? I don't need to be saying this is the greatest thing I've ever experienced, you know? It's just like, oh man, that was a fun 15, 20 hours, you know? And that's how I feel about Fallen Order. I loved So many aspects of it. I like the combat quite a bit. Lightsaber, I mean, I haven't played every Star Wars game, certainly, but it's pretty darn close to having the best combat of a Star Wars game. I mean, I feel like it's got to be up there. Dylan, I see in the chat with the 9 months. Thank you so much, Dylan. Dylan is a big Star Wars fan. Dylan might be able to speak to if any other Star Wars games really rival it. I know. Oh, what was the one back in the day, man? Jedi Knight 2? Jedi Academy, I think was the name of it. Cyberpunk might be too adult for this family. Oh, trust me, JP. I know. Yeah. I know all about it. I didn't say anything about covering it on the channel. I said playing it myself. Big difference. Princess, you started Horizon and then put it down. Interesting. Ken, you were also like that for Horizon, dove into Forbidden West right after. Oh, you're talking about what I was speaking to earlier, how with Star Wars, I just wanted to jump right back in. Jason, you're trying Parasite Eve 1 and 2. I've never played those. Ghost of Tsushima on PS5 is an experience on another level. Yeah, Craig, whenever I go back to it, I think I will, because I have the PS4 disc version, and I think I'll just go ahead and pay for the upgrade, because that's one of those games where, even though I have the disc PS4, this is really cool, actually. I don't know if a lot of people even know this. You can pay for just like an upgrade to the PS5 version. And then basically my PS4 disc, it becomes like my PS5 copy. So to play it, it's not like I get a digital copy. To play it, I still have to put in my PS4 disc, and then you probably have to be online for that to work every time, though, I would think, right? Or actually, no, because you have the disc. I feel like once you do it, it's like that's your kind of verification. And so I think it was only like $10-20 or something. So whenever I finally do get back, I'm going to have to do that. Knights of the Old Republic, yeah. But in terms of like lightsaber combat, though, Knights of the Old Republic, well, I mean, it's a great game. I totally agree. One of my favorite Star Wars games ever. Actually, it might be my favorite Star Wars game, Knights of the Old Republic. It would come down to Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2 on the GameCube, Knights of the Old Republic, and then the one I just played, Fallen Order. It would definitely come down to one of those. Jason said Knights of the Old Republic. Simeon said Knights of the Old Republic. Jason again. Jason kidding. Oh, I see. You left out the old the first time. All good. Yeah, but like just in terms of lightsaber combat, I feel like Fallen Order's got to be up there, which it seems like Survivor could potentially be even better with all the stances and stuff that they're introducing. You've got the double blade. You've got he can have like a pistol now. In addition to a lightsaber, you can have the lightsaber in each hand. There's all sorts of opportunity for this next one to do even better. All right, so that is what I've been playing for the week and what you guys have been playing. Now it's time to get into our topic of the week. Topic of the week, and boy, is it a big one. I think we haven't talked about this on YouTube yet. I went live on Twitch the day the announcement hit, but this is our first time getting to talk about it here with the YouTube audience. So, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, guys, it is happening. Quidditch is actually happening. And some of you, I'm so jealous. Can you guys tell I'm a little jealous? Some of you may have already played it, but you can't say anything, can you? You can't say anything because there is an NDA. Or I should say you've played an early version of it. But yeah, anybody else watching this later, if you didn't know, this is official. This is not a hoax. I had to check the tweet, you guys. When the announcement first went up, I had to check the tweet so many times to make sure that this wasn't like, I'm checking all the different Twitter check marks now, you know. I'm like, wait, okay, which check mark is this? Is this legit? Oh, wow, this is actually the WB account. What's crazy, man, is they had to keep that so under wraps. Like, how did that not leak, right? How did that not leak? I guess after Hogwarts Legacy leaked so early, they were just determined to keep a tight lid on things. And, I mean, they did a great job. Lauren, welcome in from New York City, late to the party. Hey, all good. All good. Draco, you've been playing Harry Potter Magic Awakened. I know, we're still waiting for that over here in the US too. Dude, this could be an insane year, though, for Wizarding World fans. Think about it. Think about it. Hogwarts Legacy comes out, which who knows what they have up their sleeve for DLC and when it may hit. I mean, potentially, like if they've already been working on it, like maybe as they were building the game, they set aside some things that were like, oh man, this is too big of an idea to fit into the core game. Let's start kind of developing that on the side here as DLC. Or if they're just like, we haven't even thought about DLC. Now, I know what they've said publicly and that it's not in the, how do they word it? Current plans or something. And of course, they're going to be focused solely on last gen, which is where the focus should be. I mean, we are so close to last gen at this point. Let's see, is it next week? No, it's not next week. It is, no, it is next week. It is next Friday, you guys. No spoilers, by the way. No spoilers for anybody watching tonight. We're not going to spoil anything. I know we have a lot of people who like to tune in on the live streams who haven't gotten to play the game yet. So don't worry. We're not going to be spoiling anything. But yeah, you have just over about a week and a half to go. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. May 5th. May 5th. And I know it's been a long time coming for you guys. I'm still waiting for them to finally fix the collector's edition trophy. I still have not gotten it, man. I still have not gotten it. Draco, you still hop in to fly around. It's just, I know, just being in that world. I want a reason to go back. I really do. I really want a reason to go back, which we still are doing our evil playthrough as well. Now that we've beaten Fallen Order, that'll give us a chance to jump back in for that. But what are you guys looking to see out of this Quidditch game? What are you all looking to see? And actually, how do you feel about it too? Let me know. Let me know in the comments there. I want to hear how you guys feel about it because I was actually surprised. Now, being that I have a YouTube channel, I see a lot of the negativity. So, I mean, my general thought when I first saw this is people are going to be so freaking excited. So excited. And I still feel like that is the majority. I do. I really do. But there is a pretty vocal group who seem upset that this game, that almost like they're upset that this was the reason it's not in Hogwarts Legacy. And I'm just like, guys, Hogwarts Legacy was I mean, even if you do like bare minimum, it's a 40-hour experience. Like that is a full game. Now for me, it was an 80-hour experience, doing everything, getting all the collectibles. That's just one playthrough. If you do more playthroughs, you're going to get even more. So, I mean, like, I just don't get that argument of saying like that it's somehow unfair or something. Like it's a cash grab. I mean, of course, guys, everything that comes out, it's to make money. Like that is the point. However, this exact thing that they're doing now, let's be fair. We've not seen any gameplay, haven't seen anything at all about it. But the way that they're doing this, at least, is exactly what so many of us wanted. We said, you know what? I would much rather a studio take their time, build a Quidditch game from the ground up on their own engine. You almost need an engine where you're building the game just around Quidditch versus something like Hogwarts Legacy where it's like added in. And I mean, I feel like we have the proof of this too. And all you have to do is look at Quidditch World Cup and then look at the Quidditch that we had in the early versions of the Harry Potter games. I mean, the only reason they were able to put that in those games, guys, I've said this many times, but I'll say it again here. The only reason they were able to include Quidditch in those old games is because you were one position and it was the Seeker. All the other stuff, they could just have the AI around you controlling it, right? That's the only reason, man. And even Quidditch World Cup didn't have you like in full control of each position. There were ways, you know, like when you had a bludger, you would like take control of the beater for a second. But mostly you play the chaser. And then when it comes time to catch the snitch, you play the seeker for a bit. So I mean, before I look at chat and read your all's feedback, I'll say that I'm totally like on board for this. I think this is the right move. I think I don't feel like it should have been included in Hogwarts Legacy. And even if it had been included, it would not have been something like what we're going to get here. It would have been almost like a mini game, like a cross ones, a side thing that you would have been able to do. So I definitely think it was the right call. I think we're going to get a much better game experience as a result. But let's see what you guys think here. Let's see. Zodiac says, I wouldn't mind a career mode like in a lot of sports games. 100% agree with you there, Zodiac. Totally agree. I think to do this right and to really increase the replayability of it, which they've said, there's a lot of questions about, is it multiplayer only? We know it's definitely multiplayer, and we know online is required. But then they also have a line in there about being able to play solo. What I'm not clear on with that solo is, does that just mean like solo queue? But you're still playing with other people. Like right now, I can hop on Fortnite and I can solo queue, but I'm still going against other players. Will there be a way for somebody who's like, you know what, I don't really want any of the multiplayer stuff, but can I still just hop in and play Quidditch against some AI opponents, pick any position I want, go through a full Quidditch season? I mean, similar to like what you got with Quidditch World Cup, right? That blew my mind, by the way, with Quidditch World Cup. The fact that you had that core game of the Hogwarts Cup, but then no, they actually have the Quidditch World Cup too, where you can be. So we don't know anything like that yet. We don't know anything about if it's how many teams are going to be included. Here's kind of the basics in terms of gameplay, what we know. I'm fairly confident that we'll be able to play every position. I'm fairly confident of that. A couple of reasons. They mentioned it in the tweet, and then also, if you're a member of their Discord, they already have separate Discord channels set up for each position. So I think that for sure is being included as a reason, because they want people to talk strategy based on which one you're playing. And then we know it's multiplayer. Like, those are the two big things that we know. We know that you could play any position, and we know that it's multiplayer. Wouldn't mind. Okay, hold on. Samantha said, looking forward to it. Never played a Quidditch game before. Mia says, I'm scared I'll be as bad at it in the flying challenges as I was in Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, man. Craig says, don't like multiplayer. Craig, okay, so would you be okay with it, though, if you have some options to play offline, or not offline, because it sounds like an online connection is required against like AI? Because, or do you mean they shouldn't include multiplayer at all? Because for a game like this, there's no way it would have any chance of success if they had no multiplayer. There's just no way it would have any chance of success. It absolutely has to have multiplayer for any chance of success and longevity, you know? Mr. 7-Digit, don't feel like playing anything else after Hogwarts. It left a void, right? It definitely did. That's why I'm just like, come on. DLC announcement. I'm waiting for it. Draco, don't know if I'll play the Quidditch game. Plan to hit Harry Potter Magic Awaken hard. I love dueling so much. Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, I was never one of those people banging the table like, I absolutely have to have Quidditch in Hogwarts Legacy. Honestly, because it just like, I enjoy sports games, but I would take like the action RPG any day of the week. However, I mean, I will say I think this has a lot of potential for the people who are fans of Quidditch and for the people who have been saying like, oh, I want to play Quidditch this whole time. Life is a cash grab, right, Jason? Money. I mean, it's necessary. It is necessary. Exactly, Dylan. Like if they did it in Hogwarts Legacy, I feel like it would have only been a half done version, and that's not an insult to Avalanche, just because of the sheer capacity that it would take to make a quality Quidditch game, quality Quidditch supplies to make a quality Quidditch game, right? And I mean, I go back to Quidditch World Cup and comparing Quidditch to those other games. I mean, all you have to do is look at the vast difference in terms of the quality of the gameplay in how it worked with those games. And I think you have the perfect example there. Princess says, I think Quidditch needs way more attention than them just throwing it into Hogwarts Legacy. Exactly. Yep. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. Quidditch is such a big game that's added to Hogwarts Legacy might have been too much for them to program. Don't know if most people's computers could have handled so much. Yeah. So much, excuse me. I think it would have been so much on the devs, really, because it's it just requires so much. I mean, clearly they felt the same way, like WB. The fact that they're saying we think a full-on studio needs to we can dedicate a whole game to this. What do you guys think? Here's where we're going to get in really interesting waters here, interesting territory. What do you guys think the monetization is going to be? Because I'll tell you guys what I think it's going to be, and why it has the potential to be a good thing. This is not sponsored. WB has not paid me for this. I know I'm like singing the praises, but I promise, I think it could be, but they have to be very careful with it. Very careful. You guys already know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. Chris, welcome in. Going well. Harry Potter, I would hope you would try any Harry Potter game. Harry Potter. Love that it's a separate game. Multiplayer gives you pause. Yeah, see, I feel like there's a lot of people who are fans of Hogwarts Legacy. See, I've seen both sides of it, right? I see all the comments. There were so many of you who were like, single player is where I'm at. I want, like, single player is what I want. But then there are also so many people commenting and shouting and screaming, multiplayer. Even in Hogwarts Legacy, people were wanting some sort of multiplayer mode added. Even if it wasn't Quidditch, people were asking for that. Man, excuse me. I cannot, like, this, tonight, our beverage of choice is a Waterloo, the carbonated water, the black cherry. Man, and I keep having to clear my throat on this one. Whew. But yeah, so I've seen both sides of the equation when it comes to multiplayer, no multiplayer. The reality is this game has to be multiplayer, guys. It has to. For any chance of success, it has to be multiplayer. That's really the only way. Now, I feel like what most people who are kind of like, hey, and you know what? Here's the other thing I'll say, though. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Like Draco was saying earlier in the chat, like, you know, I don't know if this is for me. I'm probably going to be playing Harry Potter Magic Awakened more. That's totally fine. It's a completely different type of game. You run into this a lot on YouTube too, like trying to figure out your target audience. You know, Hogwarts Legacy was one of those games. It was a special game for many reasons, but mainly because it appealed to so many different types of gamers. Because anybody, and non-gamers for that matter, anybody who had ever read the books, ever watched the movies, and dreamed of getting sorted and going to the wizarding world, you instantly had a connection with, like, oh, I would want to do that. I want to go to Hogwarts. I want to get sorted. I want to be in the castle, you know? But Quidditch is a little bit different, even as a book reader. And even when you put yourself in that world, some people are just like, it's a cool side thing, but I wouldn't play Quidditch if I went to Hogwarts. Some people might be thinking. So if it's not for you, don't sweat it. Even if you're a Wizarding World fan, don't feel like you have to support the game or buy the game just because you're a Wizarding World fan. Now, in terms of the monetization, I think it's going to be free to play. I do, guys. I think it's going to be free to play. It's a complete guess. I don't know. I don't have any concrete reasons for it, but I'll go back to a few years ago when there was, remember the whole WB Discovery, the merger, all that stuff that happened, and now this recent announcement about the Harry Potter TV show. When all of that went down, one of the other things they said is WB Games, that is that they wanted more games as a service. They wanted more games as a service. And that is one of my big reasons for it. Also because I think it's just like, I think it's perfectly set up to be a free-to-play game. I really do, because of what we were just talking about. There are so many people who are going to be like, I'm kind of on the fence with this, you know? Like, yes, I'm a fan of the Wizarding World, but I'm not really a sports person, right? I don't know if I want to play Quidditch. But if they come out and they're like, it's free. It's free. Free to try, free to play, they would get a lot more people on board, especially in the beginning, just to try it out. I do. That is what I'm thinking. Cosmetics, oh my gosh, yes. Cosmetics, custom brooms, uniforms, absolutely. All of those things. All of those things. Luna Comics says they must incorporate those special moves from the original or have more than one. That'll be interesting to see what they do with. I have so many questions. See, I can already feel us slipping into the Hogwarts Legacy streams again, to where we would just go down these rabbit holes when we have all these questions, man. Because I for sure think they're going to have to change the rules. They're going to have to, or I should say, tweak the rules. Maybe they have like a hardcore mode or something that's true to the actual book rules, but then they have like a standard mode. Because at the end of the day, guys, you cannot have 150 points for the snitch and that ending the game. They can't structure it like that. If they do, oh my gosh, you're gonna have so many people raging. Like if you've seen people, rage compilations online, people rage quitting games. Oh my goodness. Whew. People are going to be very competitive in this game. Trust me. They'll be very competitive. And if you have, imagine you have a game where you're just like, your chasers, you're dominating, you're 100 to 50, 150 to 20. And then somebody catches the snitch. And if they actually give them 150 points and it ends the game, I think there are two different options for how they can handle it. We were talking about this the other day on our Twitch live stream. I think there are two options. There is actually a real world Quidditch. You guys didn't know about this. It is a sport that people play. Obviously, they're not flying in the air. And so the rules have to be tweaked a little bit. And so the way they do it, you guys can look it up online to find the exact point total. But if the team that's winning, there's like a certain time when the snitch is available. It's not just like open any time to catch the snitch. There's only a certain times when they can get it. And if the team that's ahead catches the snitch, the game is over. If the team that's behind catches the snitch, I want to say it rewards them like 30 points. And so if the 30 points would put you as the winner, it doesn't matter who catches it. You win. Game's over. But if the 30 points would not put you ahead, it extends the game. So like, remember in the book when Victor Crumb caught the snitch, but his team lost? And so he basically, think about that from a gameplay perspective. If that actually happened in a video game, it's so problematic for how it would work in a video game. Because then, what are you doing as the seeker? You're not going to try and catch it. I guess you could try and like almost become a beater where you're trying to force their seeker not to catch it until your team catches up. But then you could just have games go on forever, right? So I kind of like that, and because it still keeps the spirit of the books, and like catching the snitch is what ends the game. But how it works is let's say you're down by 40 points and your team catches the snitch. You would get 30, so then you're down 10, and then you go into what they call an overtime period. But still, to end the game, you have to catch the snitch. Now, I don't know how it works if a team's down by a whole lot, and then I guess they could just keep having overtimes, right? If the same seeker. So if you have like a really good seeker and they keep catching the snitch for you, that would keep extending the game. So that's one possibility. The other idea that I had is you could do it like most of our real world sports and have like timed periods or quarters, halves, however you want to do it. And you could structure it in a way like the snitch would have to be worth significantly less, like maybe 25 or 30. And once it's caught, it's released back after like 5 minutes or something. I don't know. And so then at the end, you just tally the total points. And so it ends on a time rather than the catching of the snitch. But it's so interesting, man. It's fascinating. There's going to be a lot of different ways that they can handle that. Chris, you think there will be microtransactions? Yeah, I think so too, for sure. I definitely think that they will have microtransactions. Broom skins, everyone will be in Quidditch team gear. Yeah, true, but they could have different styles of the gear. Like kind of like what we see with Hogwarts Legacy, like all the different house uniforms. There's so many different variations, like the way the stripes, and they could have so many. If you're a fan of modern sports, a big thing right now is they have like throwback uniforms. So teams have like their home jersey, they have their away jersey, then they have their throwback jerseys. Some teams have a couple of throwback jerseys. Then they have like these alternate helmets that they wear sometimes. So, oh, and like, look, even I just realized in the screenshot, like the goggles right there, you could customize goggles, like the helmet, the stadiums. Oh my goodness. I really hope they have all the different stadiums like Quidditch World Cup did. Dynamic weather. Of course, I'm not talking microtransactions with weather. Surely not. Don't do that, WB. Do not do that. But I could see them definitely doing it, like stadiums, all the cosmetics that you can get for the character. Brooms, for sure brooms. For sure brooms. Let's see. What else do we have? Think it'll play like a battle royale, Spluff? Samantha said, I'm not into sports games, but I will buy the game, want to give it a try. Chris says, that's where I'm at. Love the Wizarding World, but probably won't get this in play. Yeah, and that's fine. You know, I think that's fine because this is a very different, I shouldn't say very different, but it is a slightly different target audience. Craig says, having someone make a meal and bring it out to you is a service. Games are entertainment. Maris, if they don't do a free-to-play, they will have a much lower player base. I agree. And even if they do charge for it, I don't think it'll be a full-price game. I think it'll be like a $20 or $30, and then with microtransactions supplementing things, which people are going to freak out if that actually happens. I've already seen it in my YouTube comments, people already. And let's be real. I mean, there are reasons that people hate microtransactions because a lot of times publishers and developers, the way they do it is just anti-consumer, and it's greedy, and it's unfortunate, man. It is. So I get the weariness. I get the concern. However, I'm choosing to hope, as we did with Hogwarts Legacy, I'm choosing to hope that the game is in the right hands of the developers here, which is not Avalanche, by the way. The developers are not Avalanche. What is their name again? Hold on. We got to pull up I want to make sure I get the exact name right. But which already, man, if you follow these guys on Twitter, they have been so active already. And they really are striking me. I'm getting similar vibes to how we did with Avalanche in terms of just how excited they are to be working on this project. Unbroken Studios. They were tweeting the other day. They had a little party and had like, I think it was a snitch cookie or something. No, cupcakes. There they are. I just found them. They said, if you followed us for a little while longer than this week, you might have noticed our affinity here in the office for donuts. Celebrating Quidditch Champions announcement, I present to you sticky snitches. Oh, man. I got to pull these up over here for you guys. Look at this. Look at this. Sticky snitches. I'm just salivating looking at that picture right there, man. So I think the passion and excitement is definitely there. It's definitely there. Now, of course, they're working a lot with WB in terms of the pricing structure, and I think WB will have a big say in terms of as publisher. You know, they're going to set up a lot of that. So hopefully, man, hopefully they do it right. So let's think of some games that have done it right, at least from my perspective. I mean, Fortnite's got to be the king of this, right? They love or hate Fortnite. This is an amazing thing, you guys. You can go and download Fortnite right now without paying anything, and you can play the full game. I'm not talking about Save the World. I'm talking Fortnite Battle Royale. You can play the full game. You can do everything in that game. And yet, they have made so much money off of cosmetics, what your character wears. Oh, dude, emotes. How can we forget that? There's 100% going to be emotes. You guys were talking about in Quidditch World Cup, all of the special moves. There are going to be taunts and emotes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't think of that before. 1,000%. There are going to be taunts and emotes in this game for sure. There you go. There's microtransactions right there. And see, what's so funny is like I I don't care about the emotes. I don't think I ever bought an emote in Fortnite. I feel like I personally have spent very little money in Fortnite at all. I think I bought like one of the first battle passes, and here's what's so great about how Fortnite does it, man. You can buy the battle pass, which is like $10, and then as long as you don't spend those V-Bucks that you get V-Bucks through the battle pass that you just paid $10 for. So you get a bunch of stuff in the battle pass, and then you get V-Bucks from that battle pass as well. If you don't spend anything, you have enough to buy the next battle pass without paying anything else. So it's like you just have this like infinite, as long as you keep doing that. Now my son is the exact opposite. He's like, he wants all the skins, and I'm just like, no, because they're ridiculously overpriced, in my opinion. But in terms of like the fact that the game is free and the fact that they give you all that stuff with the battle pass, same thing for Apex Legends. And Apex Legends, guys, you know how much I've spent on that game? And I've probably played, I'll have to check my playtime sometime on Apex Legends, but I mean, it's at least, I feel like, at least 500 hours in that game. I played a lot of that game back when it first came out. And that game dropped out of nowhere, free to play. You know how much I've spent on Apex? $0. $0. Because I do not care in the slightest about the different character skins, about the skins on the weapons. I just don't care. I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care. I don't care enough to spend real world money on it. And then again, like similar to what Fortnite does, you can earn so much by playing the game that I've been able to get all the Apex characters just by playing the game. Just by playing the game. So I hope that WB will set up something similar to where it's not pay to win, to where anything that you do in the game, anything in terms of the actual gameplay, is not locked behind a paywall. Like special modes and all that, don't get into that. Like, don't just don't get into it. A free mobile app game? No, Lauren. No. It's not a mobile game. It is officially for console and PC. They have confirmed that. Yes. They have confirmed that. And yeah, I think I read your comment earlier, Maris, but I totally agree about, that's the great thing about with a multiplayer game, when you go free to play, is it makes your player base. And multiplayer games, to survive and thrive, they have to have a big player base. Now, I could see this one. Ooh, here's a good question. If it is like a full price game, I could totally see PlayStation trying to secure it as a PlayStation Plus game. And seeing the success of Hogwarts Legacy, I could equally see Microsoft being like, no, we want that on Game Pass. Oh, dude. Oh, it's going to be so interesting. But yeah, it is not a mobile game. I know people saw the art and initially thought, because it looks very similar to, which one is it? Hogwarts Mystery, I feel like, is the one that it looks similar to. Doesn't really, I could see some connections to Magic Awaken, maybe a little bit to Wizards Unite. The Snitch could be nerfed to about 50 points. Yeah, Dylan, they're going to have to do something with the Snitch for sure. Have to do something to adjust it. Yes, Lauren, that's right. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, in that real world version of Quidditch, the Snitch is a person who it is actually a person who dresses up and wearing gold, and I think they have like a flag or something on them that somebody has to catch. You guys really should look this up. Like it's actually, I don't think I've ever even looked up a video. I should look up a video of real world Quidditch being played. JG, is this game going to be good? We have no idea. We haven't seen anything. We haven't seen anything in terms of gameplay. So right now it is just cautious optimism from me. Cautious optimism. The studio, I would say, is pretty unproven. And honestly, like, they don't have nearly the experience that Avalanche had. I mean, Avalanche had a very long and lengthy history of working on games that were more for kids. And so that's why people were a little bit skeptical of them. But they certainly had a big history of working on games. This being Hogwarts Legacy was just a completely different type of game for them. And by almost every account, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. This team has worked with other big-time developers. They've worked on Call of Duty. They've worked on God of War. They worked on Batman Arkham. And then, what was the other one? There was another big multiplayer title. But obviously, they've not been the lead on any of those. This, it seems like they are, in fact, the lead studio on this. So it's hard to say JG just yet. But there are playtests happening now, as we were touching on a little bit earlier. And it all just depends on if you are in that playtest or not. That's why I can't wait to get my hands. I hope I get in at some point on the playtest. But as soon as I do, then it kind of prevents discussions like this from happening. I can't speculate on things that I know about if I had played the game. So, Samantha, thank you so much for being here. Have a good one. Draco, it would be cool to see the team intros. Oh, intros, dude, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. I could see that being a little bit of like a battle pass type thing too, as well. Like something that they might include as some sort of microtransaction, like different, like you have the standard one. This is their standard entrance, but then they might have microtransactions for special entrances and stuff. Maris says, I see it being a battle pass setup like other comp games, Fortnite, Overwatch, etc. Yeah, that's where I'm leaning right now. That's where I'm leaning. And honestly, like if done correctly, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. And I feel like the reaction online, if that's the way it goes, again, I don't even know if it'll be the majority, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of people being loud and complaining. is what I feel like. That's what I feel. How long are we streaming, Harry Potter? Let's see. This is almost our last segment. This is topic of the week. Then we're going to get into viewer questions, and then we'll have the wrap-up segment after that. I know those cupcakes look so good. They look so good. So Chris, this might be a good little insight for WB to hear if they happen to catch any of this stream. So Chris said, if it's free to play, I'll for sure play, but if it costs money, I'm not in Quidditch enough to pay. I don't feel like that's an uncommon thing, Chris. I feel like there will be a lot of people in that same boat as you, as being like, I'm a fan of the Wizarding World, but I'm not really a sports fan, and this game, it's about a sport, even though it's a Wizarding sport, not sure if I'll like it. By making it free to play, it's just it lowers that barrier to entry, right? And also, you know what else free to play says? It says that you're confident in the game. It does. It says that you're confident that people are gonna have fun with the game, to where they will want to spend money on the cosmetics and keep coming back for all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. By the way, how insane was this just out of nowhere as an announcement, right? Just out of nowhere. I mean, nobody was, it was not on my radar at all. Because my buddy Expecto Go and I and Wizard PhD, we had talked about this stuff, like, and said we would love to see this in the future, you know? But never in a million years did I think it was going to be announced the year that Hogwarts Legacy released, and also the year that, fingers crossed, Magic Awakened finally releases over here. Oh, and Lauren, seeing your comment about the Nimbus and the Firebolt, that, I know I'm not answering your question right here. I'll get back to your question, but that made me think of, here's another thing why people wouldn't want it set in the time of Hogwarts Legacy. Those brooms are slower. They're not as agile. They're not as nimble. This game, I think they chose the Harry Potter name for a lot of different reasons. But one thing I was thinking about, because of the fact that they're calling it Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, they could have very easily just called this Quidditch Champions, Wizarding World Quidditch Champions, Hogwarts Quidditch Champions, Quidditch World Cup Champion. I don't know. There's a lot of different names, but they chose Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So I don't think there's going to be like a big storyline or anything to this game, but that does beg the question of like, is Harry going to be in the game? Like, is it actually set at the time he's at school? Are we going to actually be able to play? Oh my gosh, I just thought of something crazy, dude. What if they have where you can play these like iconic matches from the series from each year of Harry's Hogwarts schooling. Dude, like I've seen that done in Madden and NBA 2K. They've done things like that before where they'll have it set up to where you can play this iconic game from the history of sports. So it could be like a specific Super Bowl or a specific NBA championship that was a really big, pivotal game, even to where you have to do specific tasks in the game. Oh, man. Also, we should also point out, guys, in the FAQ, they also mention other flying games. So I think there's going to be some extracurriculars here. It's not just going to be Quidditch. I think we could see some little like training mini games and things to help you learn the ropes of the game, learn how to fly, all those types of things. But yeah, the fact that they're setting it in modern times means that you're going to have the best brooms. Thank you, Lauren, for getting me back on track there. That is what, when I saw that comment from you, that's what made me think of that in the first place, is because the Hogwarts Legacy devs, they specifically talked about, they had to consider, look, these are older brooms. This is not a Firebolt. This is not a Nimbus. We can't have this being just a ridiculously fast, agile, nimble, perfect turn broom like Harry and the others have in the book series. This game, by calling it Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, I think we're going to have access to those faster brooms. Oh, dude. Oh, man. See, here I go. The ideas, they're just spilling out of me now. They're pouring out of me. They could even have different eras of Quidditch. Like, imagine if you get to play Quidditch like on the original hoops. Like, I'm not read Quidditch Through the Ages in a while, but I know they didn't start with the exact hoops like they have. You can actually see some of the early attempts at getting Quidditch going in Hogwarts Legacy with the as you fly around the world. They could do things like that, like different eras of Quidditch, like how it changes through the years. There you go, Quidditch Through the Ages. Different stadiums. I know, Draco. I hope we get to see different stadiums. I feel like that's a given. Different stadiums, weather, day, night, all those types of things for sure. Oh, man, imagine if they did different schools. Like if we could see different schools Quidditch pitch. That would be insane. Okay, back to Lauren's comment, though, now. You might have to pay extra for special brooms. Yeah, I agree. I think so. Would I pay for a Firebolt or a classic Nimbus? Ooh, that's tough. I'd have to look at the stats. But see, and that takes us down another rabbit hole, though, right? Because those brooms should have stats on them. So hopefully they don't go that way, because that would almost feel like a pay to win. I think it would have to be cosmetics instead. So like painting your broom, getting a different, I don't know, broom handle, changing up, I don't know, a ribbon or something on the broom. A cosmetic to make the snitch look like a snidget. Oh my goodness, Craig. Now that you said that, if that doesn't happen, if there is not a mode in this game with a snidget, I'm going to be so disappointed. I will be so disappointed. Oh, see, imagine if they had like where you, how many times have I said imagine? Sheesh. Guys, this is just how it goes. Whenever I get excited about something, the ideas, they just start flowing, man. They start flowing. Imagine if you could play Quidditch in these different eras. So you're playing in the original, just like they're just starting out. What was the guy's name? Kenilworthy Wisp? Oh, no, that's the name of the guy that wrote the book. Oh, what was the name of the dude who started Quidditch? I can't remember his name. Oh, somebody in the chat will remember. One of you guys will remember. And then if you go back that far, you got to have the golden snidget. You have to. You have to have the golden snidget. Oh my goodness, what a great idea. Pool Q, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Draco said different schools would be sweet, and I agree. Quidditch at night. Yes. Quidditch at night would be so good. So good. All right, guys, before we move on, any final thoughts here on our topic of the week on Harry Potter Quidditch Champions? I'm excited for it, man. You guys already know where to keep it tuned. If you're not yet subscribed here to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. We're going to be covering this game as extensively as we did Hogwarts Legacy. And what's really exciting about this one, I know some of you weren't too thrilled with the idea of multiplayer stuff, but guys, we can start doing community nights playing this game together. And if Magic Awakened ever comes out, we can do the same thing there too. That is one of the reasons I'm so excited about this, because the community that we've built here, if you guys are catching this later, also know that we have a Discord that you can join as well. So I can see the Discord and stuff like that really picking up when this game actually comes out, because all of us can then join up together and play. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Lauren might play against Victor Crumb. There you go. See, now you got the ideas are flowing for you guys too. According to Pottermore, more stories. He was still playing in the World Cup in 2014. Yes. See, now that they need iconic players that we can go against. Oh, that is, earlier I said there are two things confirmed. The other big thing confirmed is we will be able to create our own character. We will create our own character. So there will be a character creator. So I don't think we're going to be playing as other, although, I mean, they could have special modes. They could definitely play special modes. Oh, Draco, yeah, I will for sure play Harry Potter Magic Awakened when it finally comes out over here. Absolutely. I thought about even trying, because I know there were ways to do it, even if you don't live in those areas, but none of the progress carries over. So I'm just like, come on, bring me the final game. Bring me the final game. I don't want to do all this work and then none of it carry over. All right, so we are going to shift into our final segment, viewer questions. Now, this does not have, it can be about Quidditch Champions, but this can be about any gaming topic, Wizarding World topic, whatever you guys would like to talk about. You can post it in the chat now, but first I'm going to check and see if we had any questions submitted through the little chat box. So there's a box where you guys could have submitted questions. Let's see if we have any here. Let's see. We've got one from Ken. Do you think they will have preset fictional players? Dude, Ken submitted this question forever ago, but that is so timely. That is exactly what we were just talking about. So the full question from Ken here, guys. Do you think they will have preset fictional players with different stats like Overwatch, etc., to choose in the Quidditch game, or will the players all have the same stats and customize their look? Ken, that is such a good question. I played a ton of sports games as a kid too, and I can't believe I never thought of that question, because that is, yeah, so like when you create your character, will you pick from like a preset, or will all the characters start at 0 and then you have to do certain activities? Because like my biggest reference point is Madden. I played a lot of Madden. And so obviously if you play a real world team, they're already going to have their own stats and attributes, height, weight, how fast they are, whether they can catch, all those types of things, you know? But when you create your own character in a game like Madden, you customize everything. That is such a good question. So in a game like Quidditch, I don't know that height and weight, I don't know that all that will matter. Although maybe like weight will matter for, oh, dude, like strength. I could see strength being an important stat. Like if you're a beater, then you're really going to need a high strength stat. If you're primarily a seeker, you're going to need speed. Chaser, you're going to need speed, but you're also going to need to like bob and weave. But then you also need like a decent amount of strength as well for the chaser, because you have to be throwing the quaffle. Whereas the keeper, oh, dude, so many. I can't believe I never considered that question. That is a great question, though, Ken. One that I don't know the answer to and can't wait until we get the answer. Dylan submitted a question. Have you ever played Dragon Age? I have never. Hold on. I take that back. I'm pretty sure it was Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition. There was a time when it went on sale in the PlayStation Store for, I don't know, something like $5. And I was like, okay, I've always heard that this is a good game. I'm buying this, even if I'm not going to play it right away. And you guys have already heard me talk about my backlog enough. I've never played it. I've never gotten around to playing it. I'm pretty sure, though, Dylan, that I would enjoy it if I ever did play it. I am pretty sure of that. But no, I've never, other than just like that initial, I played like the very little beginning sequence of Inquisition, and that's it. Fallen didn't have a question, had a comment. Metroid is so underrated. Fallen, I'm with you. I'm with you. Metroid needs more love. Although the Metroid Prime Remaster actually sold really, really well. Really, really well. Last time I checked. I haven't looked at updated numbers or anything, but. And then a question from Harry Potter 101. Do you think WB Games will keep making Harry Potter games for the next few generations? I think so, dude. I think so. I mean, I think we're seeing the start of that right now. And with them doubling down on the Wizarding World as a Harry Potter as a franchise, I mean, the CEO, David Zaslav, I think is his name. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but he has talked about how they want to double down on, and this is not just WB Games, this is WB as a whole. They want to double down on like big IP, known quantities, things that they know will do well. And Avalanche with Hogwarts Legacy has set the standard, you know. I think they're certainly going to be doing another game. Actually, I talked about this in today's YouTube video. If you guys haven't seen today's video, not even WB expected this is the title. Hogwarts Legacy has made over $850 million, and that was in like the first couple weeks or something. We don't have updated numbers. The only thing we heard is that it sold over 12 million. It sold over 12 million copies. And that has been a few weeks old. It's also coming out on last gen next week. So clearly they have seen that the market is there, Harry Potter. Clearly they have seen the market is there for you, my friend. It is there for you. And then this Quidditch Champions announcement, I think so. I think the next big one that I want to see, and this one I think could be a ways off, because unless they're going to drop another totally out of left field announcement on us like we got with Quidditch Champions, the next one that they need to do is an MMO. An MMO, massively multiplayer online. I'm not saying Avalanche. I think Avalanche needs to do another Hogwarts Legacy 2, because I think as much as they knocked it out of the park with this one, being able to take everything they've done, all the lessons they've learned from that game, and put it into a sequel, it would absolutely blow Hogwarts Legacy out of the water. I firmly believe that, because I believe in that team, and I think everybody should believe in that team now. But seeing what all they did with being totally new to that type of genre, oh, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see, to back to the original question, I'd love to see where they have just like a new Wizarding World game or two every year coming out. And I think it's big enough for that. I do. I think there is so much in the Wizarding World that they could do. The key is to make it, to be able to succeed outside of like Hogwarts. I've talked about this a lot, and with Expecto Go and some other Hogwarts Legacy creators, it's like once you start taking things out of Hogwarts, we, the diehards, would support it. Like if you give me an Ilvermorny game, if you give me a Wagadu game, if you give me anything in the Wizarding World, I'm there. I'm going to play it. But those would not have that same mass appeal that Hogwarts does. However, over time, I really feel like they could build something truly special in terms of just having this stable of Wizarding World games to where it's covering all the genres, man. To where you've got like action games, to where you've got the RPG, the action RPG like Hogwarts Legacy, to where you've got the sports game, the free to play, which is, we're guessing on that part with Quidditch Champions. Then you need to come out with an MMO, man. Bring out the MMO. That would be incredible. So maybe Harry Potter, your question, maybe this is just an I hope so. But I also feel pretty confident that they will. I mean, and it's going to depend on, too, like if Quidditch Champions isn't a good game, if it doesn't do well, then they'll pull the plug. I mean, we've seen them pull the plug. Like if you look at Wizards Unite, unfortunately, they had to pull the plug on that way earlier than I think a lot of people. I know there was a very dedicated and loyal audience for that game, but ultimately they just decided it wasn't big enough to keep doing. So they've shown that they'll experiment. Excuse me. They've shown they'll experiment. They've also shown that they'll pull the plug if they have to. But the encouraging thing is like they're trying new things, man. They're continuing to try to iterate within the Wizarding World for video games, which is a great thing. If you're a fan of the Wizarding World and a fan of video games, hello, I think you probably are if you're here right now. It's a great time, man. And I really, a lot of us said when Hogwarts Legacy hit and it did what it did, a lot of us said this is the beginning of a new era. And I'm standing by that. I really do think it's a new era of the Wizarding World in terms of video games. So hopefully Quidditch Champions will carry the torch. Jenna Rowland, welcome in. Thank you so much, Jenna, for being here. Let's see. I saw a question about... Let's see. Where did it go? I saw a DLC. Oh, hold on. Before the DLC question, though, somebody said, if you could design your own game... Oh, my goodness, Mia. This is good. If you could design your own game, what genre would it be, and what would the story be about? Oh my goodness, Mia. That is a deep and difficult question. Okay, so some of my favorite games of all time. The Last of Us is my favorite game ever made. But I also really love games like Elden Ring and the From Software games. So I think it would be something with as incredible of a story as The Last of Us, and something with the gameplay of, it doesn't have to be exactly like Elden Ring, but something with that kind of core gameplay loop. So I think it would be an action RPG. I think it would be open world. Oh man, it might be a Wizarding World game. It might be. But I have such a hard time, like, seeing in my head how would they get a Wizarding World game to work with. Well, we saw it in Hogwarts Legacy. Like, they really struggled with, like, having rewarding loot. It just wasn't rewarding to find, you know, the red sweater that's 5 levels below what you have when you go journey into the cave and solve this big puzzle. But see, Elden Ring has an advantage. It's like, okay, one cave you can find an axe. The next cave you find this super powerful magical staff. The next cave you find this enormous greatsword. Then you find a dagger for beating this boss. It's like, but when you're in the Wizarding World, it's like you got your wand. And that everything has to, in terms of the combat, it all has to tie back to the wand. So I don't know. That's such a good question, though. Such a good question. Now you got me just like, I'm just dreaming big here. Just dreaming big. Draco, do you think there might be a Harry Potter MMO being made, seeing how well Hogwarts Legacy did? I mean, I'm going to say yes. Like, I'm not saying like that it's currently in development, but in terms of all the big fan requests that I've seen, so covering Hogwarts Legacy like I did for, 2.5, 3 years. I don't even know what it's been at this point. I feel like they hit the nail on the head with I feel like the biggest request was open world, story focused action RPG. I do feel like that was the biggest one. The next thing I feel like was MMO. MMO was what I got. I saw that comment so many times of like, I wish it was an MMO. I wish it was an MMO. This is not an MMO. I can't believe it's not an MMO. And I mean, one thing I could say about WB and the people at Avalanche, it's like they definitely listen to the community. They do. I think we've seen that on a number of occasions now. As we've seen with Quidditch, which the thing that blows my mind about Quidditch, the fact that it's been in development for 3 years, that shows they like had a little bit of foresight there to know that, okay, people are really going to want a Quidditch game. They will really want a Quidditch game. Next question, what DLC do I think Hogwarts Legacy will get? Okay, so if like my prediction, I think we'll get like a story DLC that is going to be like a collection of maybe some new missions. So like, I don't know, 3 to 5 new sort of like mini side quests, and then one big story mission that will be like multiple steps. Now, the thing that I can't figure out, Chris, if that holds true, I can't figure out how it will work for the time frame of the game. Like, does it just, I mean, I guess technically the way the game ends, it's like the school year is still happening, even though we like see the OW bells. So you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit there. It's like, okay, really, they should be going home at this point. So yeah, or maybe they like if they went really crazy. I mean, it could do something like a have it set in the summer, but then like if the castle's empty, how would that work? So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it simple and say story DLC with some additional minor missions, and then lots of cosmetics. I think there'll be lots more cosmetics in the DLC. Probably another battle arena as well, because we've seen like the Dark Arts battle arenas. Oh, and then you know what? Another, I don't think I've ever said this one, but another vivarium. I could see like an additional vivarium and maybe some new magical creatures. I'm not saying all this in one DLC. I'm just saying like DLC. I feel like these are kind of like the most likely possibilities in terms of DLC. And then hopefully simple things. Well, this wouldn't really be DLC though, would it? Like, because I'm still thinking and wanting things like New Game Plus, things like photo mode, which I don't consider those like DLC. To me, DLC is like a substantial new piece of content that's either like a new mode or some big new chunk of the story. I think so. They could have done special wand capabilities, learning unique spells per area completed. Yeah, that would have been interesting, Zodiac. Like if they tied the learning of spells to, you know what, Zodiac? Okay. At first I was thinking no, but the more I think about it, I could maybe see that working. Yeah. You still have to learn kind of like the core spells at the school. But then what if they had all these like additional supplemental spells that aren't necessary? They're not necessary to beat the game, but if you go on this specific quest and do this or find this cave or something, you know, you might learn Aguamenti. But then they would have to make like, there would have to be moments where Aguamenti would be useful. Oh, did I say new spells? New spells would be awesome in a DLC. New spells would be incredible. I'd love to see that. Yeah, I think so, Draco. Like photo mode, I consider that more like a patch thing, like an update, not like a DLC. All right, let's see if we had any more people submit questions. Yes, we did. We have a couple more. Harry Potter, kind of more of a suggestion here. I think they should make a game about Fantastic Beasts because of how fun it was to run around in Hogwarts Legacy catching animals. Yeah, that I could see that succeeding. And then Zaven Sarkeesian, will Harry Potter characters be in this game or only our own created characters? Dude, I have the same question. We were talking about that earlier. I don't know why it didn't hit me earlier. I mean, the fact that they're calling it Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Well, okay, so let's break that into two parts, Zaven. We know for sure we're going to create our character. We know that for sure. But then they're calling it Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Now, so far, Harry Potter as a character, we've not seen him in any of the promotional materials. He's not appeared in anything. But the fact that his name is in the title, I'm going to say yes. We don't know for sure, though. I'm just, that's my prediction right now. That is my prediction. All right, let's see. I know I saw another question here. And actually, let's go ahead and end our Q&A. You guys can just post it in the main. You could just post it in the main chat box there, and we'll see it. Lauren said, the problem with Hogwarts Legacy is you never know what your character's backstory is. Former Squib, do you have a family muggle-board? Are you an orphan or now living in Hogwarts? Yeah, I agree, Lauren. I agree. I feel like we needed a little bit more with the story. I mean, I think what they were going for there, I think clearly what they were trying to do is like they wanted it to be a bit of a blank slate to where like you are becoming your character, so you can like make up the backstory for your character because it's, you know, creating your character for Hogwarts. But then if you're going to go that route, like at least let us, dude, imagine if they had like a series of questions at the beginning of the game to where you can kind of like, if you're going to let us make it up, like let us actually make it up in the game. Give us a series of questions where we can kind of like build this character backstory. And it could be like preset, you know, like give you like 3 options. Oh, dude, that would have been, I know a lot of people wanted to do blood status. Like imagine if at the beginning of the game, After you create your character, it was like, okay, choose your blood status, Muggle-born, pure-blood, half-blood. If it was like, are you, oh man, they could have had a lot of questions though, just like to gauge your backstory. And then based on those, because they're presets, based on how you answer them, characters could have then referenced it in the game. That would have been so cool. I agree. Will there be weather conditions in this game? I assume you're talking about for Quidditch. We don't know for sure, but I think so, yeah. I think so. See, those are the types of things that because they're doing a full-fledged, dedicated game for this, I'm way more on the side of yes than if it was like, hey guys, Hogwarts Legacy's coming. Or Quidditch is coming to Hogwarts Legacy. Like, if they'd done something like that, then I would really be tempering people's expectations of like, guys, it's just going to be attacked on mode. There's not going to be a lot to it. But the fact that it is its own standalone game, yeah, I totally think that we're going to see dynamic weather and also like night games. Oh man, that'd be awesome to see night games, different stadiums. Yeah, I think for sure we're going to get those things. The Chill 808, welcome in, dude. Thank you for being here. Chris, would have been cool, but we would have never gotten Legacy if they did that. Hogwarts Legacy coming 24. Oh, I know, right? If they kept adding more and more and more. I don't think we know about Engine yet. Zaven guys in the chat was asking, I wonder if it's using Unreal Engine 5. We do not know. What do you guys think about the art style? I'm okay with it. I know a lot of, I feel like it's about 70-30 of people not really digging the art style. I'm okay with it though. I think I'm fine with it being that style to kind of differentiate it from Hogwarts Legacy. I'm totally fine with that. Hey, and Patrick with the 2 months as well. You've been a member way longer than 2 months because you've got the oh wait, I guess the purple one is for 2 months, Patrick. For some reason, I thought the purple one was for longer. Maybe that's 2 months in a row. Either way, Patrick, thank you so much for being a member and all the continued support. Appreciate it, my friend. Guys, if you didn't know, you can become a channel member here on our YouTube. It's called joining. It's a little bit different than the terminology on other streaming platforms. So whenever you join, you will get a special Discord role. You also get access to the emotes whenever we're doing the live stream here. Hey, and just on cue, our buddy Patrick gifting out 5 memberships. Guys, if you got one of those gifted memberships there, Harry, make sure you thank Patrick. Patrick, thank you so much. All the love and support, dude. Patrick always showing support. And guys, if you're listening to this in audio form, because I think I'm going to release this as a podcast as well. It might take me some time to get it all set up, but YouTube has actually added a new podcast feature. So I'm going to tag this as a podcast. And for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, you could go back and watch the VOD. We really structured this and set it up in a different way than we've done our streams before. We actually had different segments and everything tonight. So I had a lot of fun, man. We started off with more just like news. Then we shifted into a topic of the week. And then we get into everybody's favorite part is when viewer questions, viewer interaction, all these types of things. So I think it's been a very good first attempt. And we'll tweak as we go. If you guys have any feedback, be sure to let me know in the comments on this YouTube video. You could also hit me up on Twitter as well, or let us know in the Discord. Any of those will work. I think we've learned that graphics are not everything. Yeah, so I asked you guys about the art style. This is from Zaven here. The games from our childhood had terrible graphics, but were so fun. I'm sure this game will be outstanding even with these graphics. See, the thing about this style is it's like, okay, if it runs better, because sports games, man, it's got to be a rock solid, smooth frame rate. That's the big thing for me. Make it a smooth frame rate. We don't want any dips. We do not want dips or anything like that. And Lauren makes another great point there. Like, it's so early. We saw just a very short clip and only a few screenshots. So until we can start seeing other characters what everyone else looks like, what different uniforms look like, what the different stadiums look like, the weather, how the game runs. All these types of things, I think, are going to really, will help people decide a lot more how they feel about the art style. Oh, I didn't see that first part, Lauren, how you said you don't like the art, but it is very early. Yeah, absolutely. It is indeed early. Patrick, your all-time favorite game is the original Metroid? Really? I am surprised by that. I did not know that about you. I love Metroid, though. The original wouldn't be at the top of my list, though. I think I'd have to go Metroid Prime and then Super Metroid if I had to actually rank them. Oh, man. All right, guys, for our final segment. Oh, man. This is the one I forgot to do. See, I had slides and everything. This is not a real comment from our YouTube channel. But I will go and pull one. I thought this would be a fun little way to end the stream, to where I go and highlight a new comment each week from one of you guys on one of our videos. Because you guys are always just, actually, I already know the one. I know the one, and it only feels right to do this one first. It really only feels right to do this one first because they are almost always first on our videos. Shout out to Rossi on YouTube. The comment of the week is first. First. Rossi, always. I am like in awe of Rossi in how quickly he is able to post when we post a new video. It is actually insane. It's insane. And he is so consistent with it. So consistent. There was a time when he missed, like, I didn't see him commenting on any of the videos. And then he commented on another one apologizing because saying he had been busy with school. I'm like, Rossi, it's okay. Trust me, it is okay. So big shout out to Rossi. Really appreciate the support and all the comments that you guys leave on the videos. So yeah, I think this will be a fun little highlight each week to know, just so you guys know, I do read the comments, man. I do read the comments. And it really is hard. People always, I'm going to take this off because people are going to be like, what the heck? Creativity? What is this? Was that actually somebody's quote? No, it wasn't somebody's quote, but and I didn't realize this until being a creator and having these videos with these comments on them, but it's just like, it is so true, that idea of how you can get 99 positive comments. I mean, 99 people alone commenting on a video is incredible. Like, that's incredible. And then you just get that one. You get that one, and it may not even be anything that bad or that mean, but you just get that one. And it's just like, oh, and that's the one you think about. So I am actively trying to change that mentality. So I think this highlighting a new comment each week, my favorite comment of the week, I think will be a good way to help me focus on the positive. Mrs. RACONTEUR, guys, she's reading a lot more comments. You guys better watch out. I had to hold her back the other day. I know Nico, moderator, says I'm too nice on some of these comments. A lot of these people we just ban. If it's too bad, we just ban them. But if it's just a genuine disagreement, that's fine. If it's a genuine critique, that's fine. But then the outright trolls, like, oh man, you're getting banned. Yeah, you're gone. Nico might like the way Mrs. RACONTEUR would handle it a little bit better. I was having to hold her back the other day. She told me a comment she saw, and I was like, oh, that's actually not even that bad. I didn't even really think twice about that one. So it was no, I'm not gonna say the comment. It really wasn't anything too bad, but she was like, this comment makes my blood boil. Like, okay, honey, it's okay. You leave your comment, give it a thumbs up, and you don't. That's it. You can just go at that point. You don't even have to read all the comments. It's fine. But you guys better watch out. That's all I'm saying. Christy with the 7 months. 7 months of awesomeness. Thank you so much, Christy. Appreciate that. Blue Moon, you would have laughed seeing that quoted on this. I know. I thought I was so prepared for the stream. I thought I had all the slides updated. That's the one I forgot. It would have been funny, though, to just have Rossi's first up there as the quote. But we will try to get to it next week. See, now I've got the template in place. That's part of the reason I wanted to get all this lined up. So next week, we'll just be able to go right in. And guys, I know some of you kind of jumped in here toward the end. If you guys jumped in toward the end, let me know in the comments, Replay Squad, when you go back and watch this, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about the beginning. Because I actually think it's going to be much more enjoyable watching it as a replay, the way we structured the stream tonight, than the way we usually do. First of all, there was no countdown. We just go straight into it. And we have kind of a little bit of a beginning where we do the intro, shout out some people in the chat, cover some of the top gaming stories of the week, talk about what's coming out this week, what I've been playing. Then we get into our topic of the week, and that's when we really started to dive into the meat of the discussion. Dandy Retro, was there any part of you that was bored with the Hogwarts game? I lost major steam halfway through the game, couldn't finish. No, not at all. I definitely, I mean, after I beat the game and did the 100%, then as I was going for that 100%, there were certainly things that I was kind of like, it's kind of dragging. But no, I thought, for me, the pacing was really good because, actually, I thought the beginning, I wanted to get more powerful quicker and also get access to the broom quicker. But I feel like once you unlock talents and once you unlock the broom, it's just like full speed ahead from there. Full speed ahead. At least for me. At least for me it was. Can't please everyone. Exactly, Draco. Like I have to remind myself of that. Like, because there are so many, I watch so many YouTube videos and enjoy a lot of them and I never comment. So the fact that anybody would stop at all to leave a positive comment, like that alone, like that should totally brighten my day. And it does. But then you see like the one, and it's so hard. Like I feel like everybody, it's just human nature. Like our brains just work this way, right? Like if you get 99 out of 100 on a test, it's like, what did I miss? Which one did I miss? At least it was for me. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm maybe doing this will help me kind of reframe that a little bit. Let's see. The Chill says, "Are you into play Quidditch?" No, dude. I wish. If I was, I couldn't say. But if I was in, we definitely could not have had the conversations we had on tonight's show either. We absolutely could not have. Because for people who get into the playtest, there is an NDA. A non-disclosure agreement. So some of you in the chat right now, though, you could be watching. You could be playing. And we would never know. We would never know. You guys can send me a DM, though. Don't worry. Send me a DM. I'm kidding. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. Don't get WB mad at you. Yeah, no problem, Dandy. Appreciate you being here and hanging out. Yeah, I love the world they built, for sure. We did a big stream over on Expecto Go, and a lot of us had some critiques for the story. Some of the side stories were probably better than the main story. But yeah, I mean, if forced to put a score on it, I give Hogwarts Legacy a 9 out of 10. It's been one of my favorite gaming experiences ever. But with some definite areas for improvement, for sure. And in a sequel, like to be clear, I think they knocked it out of the park for Hogwarts Legacy. But if you give if you give Avalanche the time to do a sequel, building off everything they know, that home run's going to go to a grand slam. I really believe that. I really do believe that. So guys, I think that is going to do it for tonight. Appreciate you all being here for this week's edition of RetroRaconteur Live. Let me know what you guys think of the new format. I really do want to hear from you. Really do want to hear from you, especially channel members and podcast listeners as well, because we are hoping to get this up and posted as a podcast, which definitely want to hear from you guys too, to see how this listens as a podcast. I tried to structure it in a way that you don't have to always see the visuals, but then if you do want to see them, you can always come to YouTube and check them out. Appreciate everybody being here. Keep it tuned to our Twitch streams for the rest of the week, because I am planning to do some streams over there. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Am planning to do some streams over there. And also, if you guys are not yet following the Let's Play channel and you're into Let's Plays, make sure you go follow the Let's Play channel. We're almost to 500 subscribers. We just need to double that up, get to 1,000, and we'll be golden, man. We'll be golden. But thank you guys so much for the support, man. All the people that continue to show up here to these live streams, it really does mean a lot. So I think we're going to keep these on Tuesdays. The time may fluctuate and change based on what's going on with the family. But right now, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, you can check us out at RetroRaconteur Live. We are also on Twitter at RetroRaconteur. We are on Twitch at RetroRaconteur. We do have a Discord as well. And then, of course, our main channel right here, youtube.com/RetroRaconteur. Chat, everybody that was hanging out, appreciate you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon.